Today we're going to be reviewing set 21325 Medieval Blacksmith containing 2,164 pieces. The set originally retailed for $150 US. Now I say originally because the set had a price increase during its shelf life, which resulted in it retailing for $180 US. But if you want to purchase this set today, new on average is going to cost you $240 US, and if you want to purchase it used, on average it's going to cost you $197 US. Moving on from there, we can take a look at all four of our minifigures, and I must say that the three on the left are really among my favorite in the set, especially the grown gentleman right here. He is much older than this one, and his face and hair just look great in my opinion. Even though the attire for both of them is the same, the individualization between those two with the faces is really what brings out the characters for me, especially again making changes with their armor as well. It just brings out that individualization more in my opinion, and I'm just a big fan of it. And then the blacksmith, of course, his nice little beard, you can never go wrong with that. From there, we have a back view showing off a couple of different things. First, the back printing, then the back view of the hair, and then again, the back view of the armor and other accessories such as this quiver right here. Taking off the headpieces, you can see that some of our minifigures have alternate faces, specifically the archer and the blacksmith. And again, here's another front view, but this time with the alternate faces as the main faces. We also get some animals in this set, so we have a light tan horse and a husky as well. Here we have our first side build, which is a carriage used for transporting goods, and here is our horse from earlier drawing that carriage. Now, of course, he is repping the Black Falcon blue there, and the way that this attachment works here is you can just attach this portion from the top, and then the piece that was here, you can just put that elsewhere, and I'll show you a safe keeping for that place within this carriage as well. So, taking a 360 look at this thing, you can see that we have a area for the rider. We have the shield with the Black Falcon logo on the right side. On the back side, there is a little hole for viewing if you would like to do that. And on the left side, we have a lamp for any nighttime adventures. Now, you can also move this here as it is on hinges, and you can take a better look at the inside area. So here's that piece that goes on the back of the horse in case you want to have that horse free. And then you also have a bag of money in there. And you can also put these helmets here in there if you would like. They just come, they come for the Black Falcon Knights if you want to have those instead of the hairpiece. But I think the hairpiece just gives them more uniqueness in my opinion. And here's what it looks like when our Black Falcon Knights are riding on this carriage that is being drawn by our beautiful little horse. Moving on from there, we can take a look at the exterior of this building. Now here we have the work area of the blacksmith. You have some swords that have been produced, an anvil, a furnace with a sword being worked on at the moment. You have the sign for the blacksmith right here, a little roof going over that area just to protect the blacksmith from any rain or anything like that. And then you have the actual chimney for the furnace or anything else that is being used within that aspect, and it's just coming out of the roof, and you can get a better look of it right there. So it just comes out of that area. From there, we can move on to the next side. So if you hear a little bit of scraping, I do apologize, but I'll try to keep it as low as possible here. So here we have another area of the building. I'm a big fan of this foliage. Here you have a bone for the dog that comes with this set. I would have liked a little bit more foliage, but it is okay in my opinion. Here, more support beams, or just genuinely some support beams for this side of the building. Big fan of all these tiles and the design work that's going on here. Even the masonry bricks along with the white makes a lot of sense to me. It looks great in my opinion. A little window up here, and then these windows open up as well, but it's easier to open them up from the inside. I'm a big fan as well of the design of the roof, the way it just kind of makes this big triangle here. It just looks great in my opinion. And there you can see a little bit more of the actual chimney. Now from there, we're going to go ahead and aim this down a little bit just to get a look at the bottom when we turn this building again. So turning this building, and again, I'm sorry if there's any scraping, you can take a look at essentially one of the sides here, or the back side really. So nothing crazy going on here. A little bit more of this tiling, which I'm a big fan of. It just provides more texture to the wall, and that one's a little crooked, but we can just fix that later. I would have liked if there was some more foliage back here, but I get why there isn't any, as this is the back. Two more windows you can open, more brown tiles here with that same design pattern essentially. Then the roof, which you can see a little bit of wear and tear up here if I just aim this up a little bit. you can just see a little bit more of wear and tear on the roof. And I'm just a big fan of it. And I like how there's a kind of like a gradient with the roof, where it starts with this lighter blue, then it goes to this like navy blue, and then to the black. I'm just a big fan of that in general. Going down back this way, you can see that we have our next like little side build, I would say, which is this tree. So I'm kind of 50-50 on the tree. It looks good, I think, but I think it could also be a lot better. But you can see that you have some apples growing in there. You have an archery area for the archer that comes with the set. And then turning the whole building to this side, you can get a little bit more details here. So again, more of the tree. You have a little well with a bucket. In there you have some firewood and a little bit more foliage here, which I'm a big fan of. Again, I would have liked if they did more, but that's okay. And here you can see a couple of things as well. You got more windows here that you can open up. You have a doorway that leads inside, a little window there, that one you can't open, the stairs that lead up to this area. And then if I move this camera a little bit up, you can see that triangle roof again, which I'm a big fan of. And then another thing that I want to point out is that I'm, again, a big fan of this tiling technique that is done here. The set itself is also modular, and I kind of wanted to showcase the ability to take off the roof itself as well. So the way that works is you can just kind of grab it and pick it up, and it comes just right off. So, again, this has a full interior, and we're going to take a look at that. But here are the connections for all these studs as well. If I can just pick up this camera and take a better look at that, you can see that we have just a couple of studs, and then everything else is flat, so that pulling it off is very easy. But we'll take a look at that interior later. So again, here we have the roof, and I wanted to showcase how to get inside and take a look at the interior. So the way that works is you have this panel here, which you can just kind of grab and pull off, and it's just kind of held in there with gravity. Now the way that this panel works is you have these pieces right here, which are just kind of sitting on these pieces down here. And it's the same way for the other side of the roof panel, but even though you can take it off, there is things in the way, such as the chimney portion of it. So it's a little bit more difficult, but it is possible to take that side off. But let's get some better lighting in this area and take a closer look at the interior. So now that we have a little bit of better lighting, here is a look at the interior. So here is where you come up from the downstairs portion. You have an area where you can write some stuff there. You got a quill, a seating area. Then you have a candle there for lighting for our minifigures. You have a fireplace back there, which is nice, and that is connected to the chimney portion. You have a bear rug here, which I thought was a pretty cool build, a treasure chest with a backpack in there. And you also have this nice bed here, which I'm a big fan of this design. I just think it looks great, especially for a made looking bed, something that has been made, And you also have the windows in here, so you can push these out, and then you have one back here as well, if I can get my fat fingers out through in there. And then you can take a look at that from the outside area. So that's how it looks with the windows open on this side, and then slightly open on this side as well. So here's the next floor that we're going to be taking a look at, and I wanted to show the same process of removing this floor, as again it is modular. So all you got to do is grab it and kind of pull it off at the perfect spot, and then you can see the bottom area here. You have a couple of different places where studs are, here and here mainly, and everything else is tiled off, so that you have the easeability of being able to pick up this area. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the floor that we just grabbed. Taking a look at the interiors of this second floor, we can take a look at a couple of things. First, the ability to open this door and close it is a nice addition. We have a table here with some meat and some vegetables, some drinks. These chairs are nicely done, in my opinion, with the use of the axis there for a nice part usage. We have the stairs as well, leading to the upstairs area, which we saw before. And then we have what is, I would consider, either some type of meat or, some type of drink that they're obviously drinking in there. And if we can turn this whole thing around, there's not much going on this side of the wall, but on this side we have a kitchen type area, somewhere where you can chop your vegetables, and then you got some pots and pans over there and a fire in the back as well, so you can cook up that stuff. Finally, we can take a look at the final floor and some of the details that were kind of missed due to the structure of the building. So here you can get a better look of these stairs that kind of lead up to the second floor from the outside. And then we can get a look at this door here. So again, you can push this open and close it as well. From there, we can start with this wall here, as it seems to have the least. So it just has some cleaning supplies and, you know, just some other tools. And then we have this back wall here where you can have a window right back here where I'm tapping my finger that you can open. You have some supplies here, so just some rods in there that you could potentially use as handles. You got some pots and pans, a helmet that he has crafted already. In the middle, an anvil with a hot piece of iron that is being technically worked on. I think that's what that's trying to represent there. We got some ingots back here stored in the crate in there, and then from there we have, you know, some armor that's been crafted, another shield, a grindstone that you can actually spin. It doesn't have a function on the outside to turn it, but you can, you know, manually turn it with your fingers there. Getting closer on this side, I believe that's just a pile of coals if I'm not mistaken, and then you know, on this side is a door. And then the last and final function that I wanted to take a look at is that there is a light brick in this set, and you can, you know, activate that light brick by pushing this down really and then pushing it in, and you can see that the light brick lights up in there, which I think is a very cool feature, especially for a blacksmith, as you know, the furnace is going to be going at all times, and if you want to mess around with that, you know, that's an option as well. And I just think it's a very cool thing to add, in my opinion. So again, here's everything you get in set 21325, Medieval Blacksmith, containing 2,164 pieces and retailing for the increased value of $180 US. Now, since the set itself got an increase in price during its show life, we're just going to say that the set itself was worth $180 US from 2021 to 2023, just to make things easier. But was the set still worth the $180 US back during that time period? The answer, I think, is still yes. I still think that if you want to talk about price per piece, this thing is still good in value. If you want to do that math for yourself, it is about 8 cents per piece in this case. Now, again, that is a good value in my opinion, but I think what matters most, to me at least, is what you end up with after you build it. Now, I do believe that this looks like $180 worth of, you know, build. I think it looks great. There's a lot of detail within the build itself, a lot of cool things. There's a lot of foliage as well, a lot of interior design and exterior design that I think looks great in my opinion. And then there is also the minifigures. So you get 4 minifigures and then you get 2 animals, a horse and a dog. So I would have liked, again, if they included 2 more minifigures and maybe another horse. I think that would have been nice in my opinion. Maybe that's pushing it a little bit, but I think that with the price increase they could have done that. But you know, again, this was $150 originally, so maybe not entirely, but I would have loved to have seen at least one more Black Falcon army person, and then one more civilian within this, maybe a worker for the blacksmith, or you know, just another person that lives within the actual household. But again, that has been my review of set 21325 Medieval Blacksmith, and if you liked the video, consider liking the video, and if you are enjoying the content and are not subscribed, consider subscribing. It is completely free and helps me out in the long run, and as always, I will see you guys in my next video.